Every year, the lights of Hollywood burn a little dimmer. The voices we grew up with, the faces that filled our living rooms, the songs that scored our best and worst days, one by one they take their final bow. Today we pause to remember the actors, the musicians, and the beloved figures we lost in the early months of 2026. This is a tribute to the talent that shaped us, and the people behind the fame who were loved far beyond the screen. The year opened in heartbreak. On the very first day of January, Victoria Jones, daughter of the legendary actor Tommy Lee Jones, was found dead in San Francisco. She was only 34, a reminder right at the start that grief does not wait for the calendar to warm. Just over a week later, on January 10th, music lost one of its founding spirits. Bob Weir, the guitarist and singing heart of the Grateful Dead, passed away following lung complications at the age of 78. He had already beaten cancer once. For 60 years he helped define an entire sound and an entire way of life, and the improvised joy of his playing will echo for generations of fans still chasing that feeling. That same day, tragedy struck in Colombia. Beloved singer Yasin Jimenez died in a plane crash at just 34 years old, a voice silenced far too early, mourned deeply across Latin America. On January 17th, the world of animation dimmed. Roger Allers, co-director of Disney's The Lion King, died after a short illness at 76. If you ever felt your chest tighten at the opening notes of that film or gasped at that cliff, that was his craft at work. He helped tell a story about loss and legacy that fittingly will outlive us all. And then at the end of the month, comedy itself lost a queen. On January 30th, Catherine O'Hara passed away at 71. From the frantic warmth of Home Alone to the impeccable deadpan brilliance of Maura Rose on Schitt's Creek, she made us laugh for 4 decades. She had a gift for playing characters who were larger than life yet somehow deeply human, and there will never be another quite like her. February brought no relief. On the 7th, the rock world said goodbye to Brad Arnold, founding member and lead voice of Three Doors Down, who died at 47 after a battle with cancer. His unmistakable vocals carried anthems that a whole generation knew by heart, gone far, far too soon. 4 days later, on February 11th, we lost James Van Der Beek at 48 following his fight with colon cancer. To millions he will always be Dawson Leary, the earnest teenage dreamer of Dawson's Creek who helped define a coming-of-age era of television. In his final chapter he faced his illness openly, and in doing so he raised awareness that may quietly save lives. On February 19th, the medical drama world grieved. Eric Dane, forever McSteamy to fans of Grey's Anatomy, died at 53 after a battle with ALS. He met a cruel disease with grace and honesty, and his courage in those final months became its own kind of performance, one of the bravest of his life. Late February landed like a series of blows. On February 23rd, actor Robert Carradine died at 71 after living for nearly 2 decades with bipolar disorder, a member of one of Hollywood's great acting dynasties. That same day, the Short family faced unimaginable loss when Catherine Short, daughter of the beloved comedian Martin Short, passed away at 42. In moments like these, the fame falls away entirely and all that remains is a family grieving a daughter. Our hearts are with them. And on that very same day, reality TV personality Mary Cosby mourned the death of her son, Robert Cosby Jr., who was just 23 years old. No parent should ever have to write those words. The next day, February 24th, brought 2 more farewells. Lauren Chapin, the child star who charmed America as Little Kathy on Father Knows Best, died at 80 after a battle with cancer, closing the book on a golden age of television. And Bobby J. Brown, known for his work on the acclaimed drama The Wire, died at 62 in a tragic barn fire. On February 25th, the crew of Deadliest Catch lost one of their own. Todd Meadows died at sea at just 25, a young man doing dangerous, honest work, taken in the very waters that made the show unforgettable. And as the month closed, on February 27th, a true music legend took his final bow. Neil Sedaka passed away at 86. From the earliest days of pop, his melodies were woven into the fabric of American radio. Few songwriters have ever made joy sound so effortless. March offered no mercy either. On the 2nd, Pulp Fiction actor Stephen Hibbert died at 68 after suffering a heart attack, a character player whose work lived inside one of the most iconic films ever made. On March 6th, we lost Jennifer Runyon at 65 after a 6-month battle with cancer. A familiar face from Ghostbusters and a long run of 80s and 90s favorites, she brought a bright, easy charm to everything she touched. The next day, March 7th, Folk music said farewell to Country Joe McDonald, who died at 84 following a decline from Parkinson's disease. A defining voice of the Woodstock generation, his songs were protest and poetry rolled into one, the sound of a country trying to find its conscience. On March 9th, Tommy DiCarlo, lead singer of the rock band Boston, died at 60 after a battle with brain cancer. He had one of those soaring voices that could lift an entire arena, and he carried on a legendary sound with heart and humility. March 13th brought the loss of Phil Campbell, longtime guitarist of Motorhead, at 64, after what his family described as a long and courageous fight in intensive care following an operation. He was a titan of heavy metal, loud and loyal to the very end. On March 14th, British reality star Jordan Wright was found dead in Thailand at just 33, a sudden and sorrowful loss for his fans and family back home. The following day, March 15th, Back to the Future actor Matt Clark died at 89 from complications after back surgery. A working actor's actor, his face turned up in decades of American film and television, always reliable, always right for the part. And then, on March 19th came a farewell that stopped the world in its tracks. Chuck Norris, the martial artist turned action icon, the star of Walker, Texas Ranger and countless films, the man whose name became a byword for toughness itself, died at 86. For half a century he was more than a movie star. He was a symbol of discipline, of grit, of the idea that the good guy could still win. He inspired generations to step onto the mat, to push a little harder, to never quit. The screen he leaves behind feels impossibly quiet now. 23 names, 23 lives. Some of them shaped entire art forms. Others were the children and loved ones of the famous, gone before their time. Every single one left behind people who loved them and a light that will not soon fade. They gave us songs to sing, characters to root for, and stories that will keep being told long after the credits roll. That is the strange, beautiful gift of the people we celebrate here. They may be gone, but pressing play brings them right back to us. So tonight, remember them, watch their films, play their records, tell someone about the moment their work meant something to you, because as long as we keep watching and keep listening, they are never truly gone. Rest in peace to every star we lost. Thank you for the memories.